when the days are cold.
Hi, so you made it through chapter 9. Congratulations. Chapter 9 is one of the darkest chapters. It probably is the darkest chapter I've had to write so far. As an author, this was stretching me a little bit. It's not pretty. It's not happy. Bad stuff happens in this chapter. My characters go through some things that are really hard. Obviously physically, but mentally and spiritually as well. And so I not only slowed down the story, but I also had to slow down my writing when I was writing this chapter. I had to be very intentional about what I put into this chapter. And it was difficult and it was hard, but really it's kind of the climax of this story. You see Morgan's fall from grace in a sense. You see him turn his back on the Creator, and it really was less of the physical torture that he went through and more of the mental manipulation from Satan that turned him. And that, I think, is what we can relate to as readers. We're not being physically strung up in a basement by an evil being, but we're being manipulated into thinking that we don't have a God that cares about us. And I think that when we hurt and we have bad things happen to us, that is a really easy thing to believe. And I know I've even fallen into that trap before. And so even though Morgan has made a really bad decision here, and Logan holds on, I have a lot of empathy for Morgan. And I understand where he's coming from, even though I don't agree with his decisions. And as an author and even as a reader, I hope that there's redemption there. But right now, things are not looking so great for him. And you have to watch Logan go through this horrible, horrible ordeal, and it changes him on the inside, and that is the Logan at the end of this that you meet in Huntress and Warfare. He is a new and a different person because of this experience that he's gone through in a lot of different ways. And I wanted to bring that to light in this book so that you would understand where he was coming into Huntress and Warfare and how he interacts with Audrey and how he behaves, and give you a little bit more insight into that. And so that's really what was important about these few chapters. Also, this is the first time that you see Logan with his new special ability that he doesn't know what it is or where it comes from at the very end of the chapter, and his confusion over it and his fear over it as well, of where it comes from. Again, how the story goes, how I built it, is that when you kind of turn to the dark side or change sides and become, side with Satan, you lose one of your attributes, but you gain something else. And in this chapter, Morgan gained the ability to be able to manipulate shadows, and so Logan is very fearful at the end of this chapter that his ability to control whatever that is, the lightning or electricity, has come from him failing God in some way. And so it was really important for me to hit that home with the reader of Morgan does escape, but he doesn't escape unscathed in a lot of different ways. I do have a reader question from this chapter, and it says, bringing a battle in which everyone fights internally into the physical realm was intriguing. How did you decide on the demon's attributes and feeding habits? I think that is a great question. That's something I obviously had to think of before the series even started. How was I going to construct this spiritual realm that we weren't seeing on Earth, but that the hunters could and the people in the afterlife could? And I talked a little bit about it in Huntress about how demons are fallen angels. They used to be angels, but their hatred towards the Creator and towards his creation, being human beings, has turned their bodies and twisted them into something that was black and ugly. And so that's my interpretation of what they are, is pure evil and what that would look like, which is a very physically horrifying thing. Now Satan's able to mask that, but in Huntress, somebody tells Audrey that he's the most misformed of all. So you've not seen that side of Satan yet. Something that you might see in the future. But and as far as their feeding habits go, I took that. I guess inspiration for that comes straight from the Bible, that demons don't want humans to thrive. And so what else would they live on is that things that they destroy. And so they exist off of the pain and suffering of humans, but I wanted to add that extra element of danger with hunters. And so the danger being that, they were addicted to the hunters. and the being hunters, being in the afterlife and being dead. I can't have the danger being, oh, they're going to die again because they're already dead. And so the danger is, having to live in kind of torment and torture of being fed on by a demon. So anyway, that's where I came up with those things. And yeah, those were all created before I even started writing the book.